Hasn't been a lot of turnover on the coaching staff. And it's just been kind of status quo. Just, one foot in front of the other. Spring football just around the corner. Anxious to see what year 3 of the Mike Leach era is going to look like. All of those things. And for those reasons, it's been kind of quiet. Well, it may be a little less quiet, or it appears to be a little less quiet among Mississippi State fans right now, with the announcement of the completion of Mike Leach's coaching staff for the upcoming season. There was a hire from within, which was not entirely surprising. And there are a lot of people that are frustrated that Chad Bumpus is not now on the staff for Mississippi State. So, hey, Dad, let's just kind of use that as a jumping off point. Kind of fill us in.
Yeah. State lost its inside receivers coach back before the bowl game. Dave Nickel took a job at USC on Lincoln Riley's staff. And, here it is, February 1st, and this is on, the second day that this hiring has been official. So a long process just to sort of promote from within. And if you followed Mike Leach's career, this is kind of what he does. He's a promote from within kind of guy. His coaching tree is pretty good. I mean, Lincoln Riley is on it, Dana Holgerson. Basically everybody, that's got a piece of the air raid came through Mike Leach's his tree at some point. It's a good coaching tree. So Drew Hollingshead is the newest branch, I don't know, whatever, for this coaching tree. I know that Chad Bumpus was a popular name amongst, message boards and social media, and as well he should be. An alum who put up big numbers here at Mississippi State is kind of beloved as a Mississippi guy, a guy you would think would come in and give you an edge in recruiting in the state of Mississippi. And he interviewed for the job, but at the end of the day,
coaching at a Power 5 school also.
Coaching, yeah, has had a good resume, and now coaching at Utah, who were just in the Rose Bowl. So, a popular guy among Mississippi State people, and I know that he had interest in the job, and I know Mississippi State talked to him about the job, but the fit wasn't right for him, and so he decided to stay out west. And so now you have Hollingshead taking that inside receivers job. The interesting stuff is that State didn't just hire an inside receivers coach. They reshuffled their coaching staff pretty dramatically. The biggest move is Jason Washington, who has been a career defensive coach. He is now coaching running backs for Mississippi State. So that's an interesting move to me. Matt Brock lost the special teams coordinator title. That now goes to Eric Melee, who coached running backs last year. And now Brock is simply the linebackers coach. Zach Arnett is no longer coaching linebackers. He's coaching safeties, which is what Jason Washington was coaching. So a pretty dramatic reshuffle to only have one new coach on the staff. And, of course, the Washington move is the one that makes you sort of maybe turn your head a little because you've taken a career defensive coach, and now he's on the other side of the ball.
What do you think the rationale was there?
Well, if you read Leach's comments from yesterday from HailState.com, he said that Washington's a good football coach, and he feels he has a lot of faith in his ability to adapt and be able to be a running backs coach. And he says, with having me and Coach Spurrier on that side of the ball, that, will help bring him along. So that said, it's unusual. I mean, there's no other way to point to it, right? You've taken a career defensive backs coach and you've turned him into a running backs coach. So it's an odd move, and we'll see how it pans out for State. I should also mention that a couple of new titles were handed out yesterday, which I'm sure are just the kind of titles that get you a raise. I don't know how much meaning they really have, but offensive line coach Mason Miller is now the run game coordinator, which also may be the loneliest job in America. And then Steve Spurrier Jr. is now the passing game coordinator for Mississippi State.
Less lonely in this offense.
Probably a very busy job, in my opinion.
The only lonelier job than run game coordinator for Mike Leach would be pass game coordinator for Jeff Munkin at Army.
Something like that.
That's about it.
All right, so Jason Washington was coaching what position?
Safeties.
He's coaching safeties. We don't see this a ton, right? Generally speaking, you're an offensive coach or you're a defensive coach, and you kind of stay on that track unless you get a head coaching opportunity. But then when you get a head coaching opportunity, people characterize you as either an offensive-minded head coach or a defensive-minded head coach. Shouldn't this work, though? Because if you're coaching on the defensive, I mean, I know you're teaching technique and certain things that maybe you've got an expertise in. But if you're coaching defense, you've been analyzing offenses nonstop for your entire career, and vice versa. If you're on the offensive side, making a move to the defensive side seems like it would kind of make sense.
And State's run game, I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty simplistic, right? They're not doing a whole lot of read option, and they're not doing a whole lot of this, that, and the other. There's basically a straight dive up the middle or a quick toss to the outside. So it feels like if you're going to bring in a coach to a position where he doesn't have a lot of experience or any experience, that running back would be the place to do it in this particular offense.
Beyond recruiting, what would you say is the most important job of an assistant coach?
Oh, it's recruiting.
Yeah, the second most important job might be recruiting, to be honest with you. It's recruiting and then recruiting.
Beyond recruiting, but recruiting is still the answer.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was trying to be funny there.
No, but you're right.
No,
you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it probably the third most important thing as well. But is there an argument to be made that it's less about? I'm not sure I believe this. I'm trying to go down this road, but I'm not entirely sure that it's less about teaching technique and there's a plan going through practice. These are the things we're going to accomplish. And if you've been a safeties coach your entire life, maybe you're able to see something about the way a safety is opening his hips or closing his hips or breaking on the ball, or, that really makes you an expert in that. But isn't the most important part in film study and preparing your guys based on the film of what the opponent's doing?
Makes sense, yeah. Makes sense.
The classroom stuff?
Yeah. The film, the preparation, things like that, yeah.
And for that reason, I just wonder if maybe this is kind of much ado about nothing for the people who are going, why would you take a defensive guy and make him a running backs coach?
It's also, you can go a step further with that and say it's much ado about nothing for, of the 62,000 people that could sit in Davis Wade Stadium, this is much ado about nothing for 55 to 56,000 of them. They don't care who an assistant coach is.
Probably.
This is something that we make a topic about because it's on message boards, and hey, it's great for